When most car makers launch a range of SUVs, they all tend to look roughly the same, and if you were to place them in a line, they'd look like a range of Russian dolls. Volvo, though, isn't most car makers, and that's why, despite being the smaller sibling to the XC90 and XC60, this new XC40 very clearly has its own identity. It's clever too, borrowing a long list of driver aids and safety equipment from the larger cars that Volvo makes. In fact, Volvo says this is the safest small SUV you can currently buy. Is the XC40 as revolutionary as its maker claims then, or is it just another contender in a crowded class which already includes brilliant rivals such as the BMW X1 and Volkswagen Tiguan? That's what we'll find out in this review, including what it's like to drive, what it's like inside, and how practical it is for you and your family. And remember, if at the end of this review you're interested in buying a new car, just go to whatcar.com, click on our new car deal section and see how much we can save you. It could be thousands of pounds. First though, let's take this XC40 out for a drive. There are 3 petrol and 2 diesel engines to choose from in the XC40, and it's the 187 brake horsepower D4 diesel which we recommend. This is a strong engine at low revs, and it can get you up to motorway speeds quickly, although it can sound a bit grumbly at idle. Most versions of the XC40 are front-wheel drive, but the D4 comes with standard 4-wheel drive for added traction in tricky conditions. Now, no matter which version of the XC40 you go for, you'll get this standard 8-speed automatic gearbox. And it mostly does a good job of shifting you seamlessly through the gears, but it can be a bit hesitant when you want a quick burst of acceleration. The XC40's ride, though, is in a different league compared with both of its rivals, and remember, that includes some strong competition such as the BMW X1 or Volkswagen Tiguan. Why is it so good? Well, the XC40 breezes you blissfully over most of the undulations and expansion joints you're likely to find on British roads, and can even take the sting out of rougher edge potholes around town. There is a bit more side-to-side wobble at slower speeds, but that's par for the course with a high-riding SUV compared with a regular car. In the main, it's a quiet cruiser as well, with little suspension or wind noise coming into the interior at speed. There is some road roar though if you choose to go for the 20-inch alloy wheels. These seats are some of the best you'll find in a small SUV. They're supportive and offer plenty of adjustment, and that means finding your perfect driving position should be a doddle. It also means you'll remain comfortable even over long distances. Now, you sit high up in the XC40, but even higher than you would in, say, a BMW X1. The benefit of that is you get a great view out at the road ahead, but as we've come to expect in this class, the view out of the back window isn't so good. It's fortunate then that every XC40 comes with rear parking sensors as standard, and inscription cars get front sensors too. There's also a rear view camera and even a bird's eye view camera on the options list to help should you need it. Now, in terms of interior quality, Volvo is now up there with the very best in the business, and this XC40 is no exception. Everything you touch feels reassuringly well built, so should stand the test of time, and there are lots of soft materials dotted around, plus a few nice premium touches such as this metal trim here on the dashboard and these chrome vents here. It really does have the air of a truly premium product, this car. Now, as with most modern Volvos, the interior of the XC40 is dominated by this large central touchscreen, and that means there are very few other buttons dotted around, which in theory sounds great. In practice, though, it makes even the simplest of tasks, such as changing the temperature or even the radio station, harder than it should be. At least it comes with plenty of features like sat-nav and DAB radio as standard, plus there's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone mirroring on the options list. You won't struggle for space here in the front of the XC40. There's plenty of head and legroom, and Volvo has even been clever in moving the speakers from the lower doors higher up to free up every last inch. There's lots of space for your odds and ends too, including this removable and washable bin in between the front seats. There's a space here at the base of the center console, a glove box too, and both door bins will easily hold a couple of large water bottles. Climb into these rear seats, and it's a similarly impressive story with plenty of headroom, even if you go for the optional panoramic glass roof, and plenty of legroom too. I have this driver's seat set fairly far back, and I can still sit behind a similarly tall driver and have plenty of space and be comfortable over long distances. As ever though, fitting 3 people back here will be a bit of a squeeze. There are other issues too, because these high windows will make it fairly difficult for children to see out, and you can't get a flexible sliding and reclining rear bench as you can in a BMW X1 or Volkswagen Tiguan. With 460 litres available, the Volvo XC40's boot is considerably smaller than both the BMW X1s and Volkswagen Tiguans, but its usefully square shape as well as this large underfloor storage area means that when we tested it, we managed to fit 7 carry-on suitcases inside, exactly the same number as a Volkswagen Tiguan. There's no load lip either, and that makes loading or unloading large items easier than it would otherwise be. Go for the convenience pack and you also get this handy divider, which you can slot into place like that, and it stops smaller items from rolling around during your journey. There are other handy touches too, including these hooks, which are useful for hanging your shopping bags on. The XC40 is competitively priced against its key rivals, and it's actually relatively cheap to buy if you go for a PCP finance deal. Now, regardless of whether you're looking at one as a company car or as a private buyer, it's the entry-level D4 diesel engine which we recommend. You do get plenty of kit as standard too, because even the most basic Momentum models come with sat-nav, climate and cruise controls, LED headlights and automatic emergency braking. If you can though, it's worth upgrading to the sporty R-Design models, because then you'll get half leather sport seats and rear privacy glass too. Now, as well as AEB, every XC40 comes with a system which can steer you back into your lane if you start to cross the centre line of the road, and additional safety equipment including a blind spot monitoring system, adaptive cruise control and rear cross traffic alert are all on the options list. The XC40 is one of the very best new cars on sale. It mixes style with safety, space with comfort, and impresses in almost every area. Now, for our full online review of the XC40 as well as all of its key rivals, head to whatcar.com, and while you're there, click on our new car deals section to see how much we can save you on your next car. Remember, it could be thousands of pounds. But before you do any of that, click subscribe to never miss another video.